Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Talk Financial TV. 1 week after the Irish people voted in a majority of 60 to 40 in favour of the European Fiscal Impact Treaty, where has Ireland been positioned in relation to Europe? Well, one thing is clear: we have not achieved the additional leverage that we thought we might achieve based on what the Irish government was telling voters prior to the casting of our vote. For example, Enda Kenny or Taoiseach would have gone to Angela Merkel in the hours after the vote became apparent, looking for an angle to open negotiations on our own state of affairs, particularly so in relation to the promissory notes. And Angela Merkel made it very, very clear that under no circumstances will there be any real consideration given to sovereign debt write-down or to sovereign debt restructure. In a word, we could say that Angela Merkel seems to have put Ireland very much on the back burner and tried to put Enda Kenny in his place. Indeed, Enda Kenny was challenged today in the Dáil and yesterday by leaders of the opposition parties in relation to what exactly did he say and what exactly did he ask for when he was talking to Angela Merkel in the days after the referendum, and the answers that were forthcoming were vague, to put it mildly. Therefore, in truth, we have not really received any additional kudos within the Eurozone countries, despite the fact that we are the only country so far that has put the Fiscal Impact Treaty to a vote, and whereby we have also endorsed that treaty by a wave of public support. A question that has been on our mind primarily this week, or indeed particularly this week, is has Angela Merkel become the Margaret Thatcher of mainland Europe? Because it seems that everything that is being put to her, she says no, she rejects out of hand, without actually offering anything positive in return. She has said no to Ireland, that there will be no debt restructuring and no debt write-down. She has said no to the concept of Eurobonds on more than one occasion, in spite of the fact that many economic advisors and many economic commentators would suggest that Eurobonds is a very obvious solution to the difficulties that we are currently encountering. Angela Merkel has also said no to the concept of bank burden sharing, or indeed of burden sharing at all. And yet, in spite of the fact that she says no to virtually every single plan that is put in front of her, Angela Merkel has not yet put forward a plan of her own that has got sufficient credibility to stabilise markets. So we see a woman in a position of assumed power, more so than anything else. Yes, she's been elected into power in Germany. She has not been elected into power in relation to the ECB, the ESM, or any other euro-based body. But it seems that the other euro currency countries have given power to Angela Merkel by going to her for their requirements, and by acceding to her pressure when she says no. So the question has to be, well, who has given Angela Merkel all this power? And the answer is the leaders of Ireland, Spain, Italy, Greece, Portugal, and other countries have allowed Angela Merkel to single-handedly say yes or no. We're not saying this with any agenda against Germany. Germany is the powerhouse of Europe. But the fact is that if we are meant to be European partners, then we need to see partnership coming back to us. And at the moment, that is clearly not evident. It's not evident in Spain, Greece, Portugal, or Ireland. Perhaps the plan is that we need further European integration. And indeed, to make the euro currency work, it is our belief in Talk Financial that we do need further fiscal integration. And to get fiscal integration, you probably need further political integration as well. One way or another, it is likely that we are looking at a closer and more meaningful European Union over the next 10 years if the euro currency is to work. More positively, this uncertainty could very well lead to opportunities for investors on the equity markets, because all this uncertainty is resulting in euro equity prices more than likely being undervalued. Dividend yields appear to be relatively steady in Europe, and yet the equity markets are struggling. So I might suggest that for those people with the appropriate risk appetite and with the affordability and experience to go into the markets, European markets and European equities may not be the worst place to be once you know what you're doing. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.